And a lot more. This is an Atlantic Shitty Tour. Now, we're going to spend a lot of time looking at the good and bad parts of Atlantic City. Well, there really isn't a lot of good here. Once you're a block from the casinos, it's really run down. Even the streets near the casinos are really shady. Right now, we're on Pacific Avenue. This is the main drag where most of Atlantic City's casinos are located. It's pretty sketchy here. There's strip clubs, ghetto bars, liquor stores, and people standing around that look like they're doing something wrong. You'll see homeless people, addicts, drunks, rowdy teens, and the mentally ill. It's really sad. You probably wouldn't see somebody like this down here, though. You'd see somebody like that in Portland. Come on now. The liquor stores along Pacific Avenue get robbed. Tourists get robbed here all the time. Actually, most of the assaults that take place in Atlantic City happen right here, within viewing distance of these rundown casinos. This street's known as Pimp Alley. You can imagine why. A lot of the tourists that come to town don't leave this general area because a lot of the city's a dump. So they can get all their entertainment in one place. Within blocks of these casinos are people taking drugs or having sex out in the open. You're going to see people peeing on sidewalks, and you might be bullied into giving somebody spare change. There's cameras all over that the cops monitor 24/7, and they've had to hire more cops to watch over this part of town. That is, if they can even find cops who will take the job. But overall, if there's a best street in Atlantic City, I guess this would be it. Let's go one street over. Now we're on Atlantic Avenue, one block further from the boardwalk. This street is bad news, pal. It too is super sketchy at all hours, but at night, it's a horror show. It's dark and seedy, and people are doing terrible things in the shadows. Most people refuse to walk around the street at night. Even driving through here at night's a bad idea. You don't want to get caught at a red light on Atlantic Avenue at midnight. No way, no way. There's no wonder why Atlantic City got a bad reputation and why hotel bookings are down. This place used to be amazing. For a long time, it was the only place to offer legal gambling outside of Nevada. It's a short train ride from New York City, and people from all over the Northeast used to flock here every single year. Now there's casinos in Pennsylvania and Connecticut, or people can just fly down to Florida, Myrtle Beach, or Virginia Beach. Plus, Hurricane Sandy really did a number on this place, although some people will say that Hurricane Sandy made this place better by washing away some of the grime and the filth. But this city's been plagued by corruption, white flight, and bad casino management. Plus, what are the kids going to do here? You can't let them out of your sight. Things are so bad here now that they actually blare a siren at 10 p.m. every night, which means kids get inside. They were kind of optimistic here for a while. There were some fancy new casinos that opened up, and crime was going down just a little bit. But today, it's clear that a lot of state dollars have been funneled away from here and directed into North Jersey.
Did you know the streets in Atlantic City are the same street names used in Monopoly?
I think I heard that once before, Mappy. What's your favorite board game?
I don't like board games. They're boring.
You don't like board games, Mappy? Then you're going directly to jail.
Hey!
Do not pass go and do not collect $200. Doesn't play board games. Who doesn't play board games? Well, this is a good time to transition to the boardwalk. Get it? The Atlantic City boardwalk isn't that bad during the day. There's a lot of stuff to keep you entertained for an afternoon. This video was taken in February, so it was pretty empty, but I caught a small glimpse of what it's like on the boardwalk at night. There's homeless people all over and mentally ill who wander around. You definitely have to watch your back on the boardwalk at night here. It's sad to see the world's first ever boardwalk in such decline. But hey, at least the ocean views are pretty, so that's cool. Okay, so now we're going to go to the bad side of town, where all the dangerous neighborhoods are. Let me just say that practically this entire city's bad. There's some okay streets, but I haven't really been to a place before where there wasn't at least one large, nice part of town. Everything in Atlantic City, practically every block, is below average rundown. Not ghetto, but ghetto. There's a lot of Section 8 housing here, and with that comes a lot of drug and gang activity. Lots of hoodlums, lots of pimps, a lot of robberies, assaults, and carjackings. Crime here is 12 times higher than the national average per capita. It's bad here at night. It's very run down. It's very sad. Look at the stop signs here. My God, my God. Now, a lot of people in these neighborhoods rely on the casinos for their employment. Dealers can make a lot of dough, maybe $25 an hour plus $100 a day in tips. though most of the workers of the casinos make minimum wage. At least it's cheap here. The average home price is about $165K. You can see why. But that lifeline that the casinos provide residents here has been severed. Due to COVID and bad casino management, Atlantic City's seen some hard times, people. Residents here have been struggling for a long time now, but after COVID, 40% of the population here lives in poverty now. One Salvation Army worker said, "I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime. Just drive around and you'll see the struggle and the heartache going on." The president of the Atlantic City Housing Authority said the landscape in Atlantic City is pretty dire right now. I mean, he's not lying. Atlantic County lost more jobs than any other county in the country. A third of all jobs here have been lost due to the pandemic. But even before the pandemic, casinos were closing down. 6 closed here between 2011 and 2016 alone. People here are broke and hungry and desperate. One nonprofit worker said, "We're seeing families here that have never asked for free food before. You can see it in their eyes. They're afraid and embarrassed." And people here are worried that the homeless and poverty problem here are going to get really bad when more people get evicted. Sadly, there's a multi-year wait for low-income housing here. AC is a dumping ground for ex-felons, needle exchanges, welfare recipients, and sex offenders. Just look at the list of all the sex offenders who live here. What the? It's sad, but this is no longer the Atlantic City we knew growing up. Atlantic City certainly isn't unique, though. There's a lot of former great places in this country that are going through this same fate right now.